A very good afternoon to you. Thank you very much for joining us here on the KTN News Desk for, of course, taking a look at stories making headlines in the country and beyond. Our sign language interpreter is Lensa Owino, and my name is Akisa Wandera. Good afternoon. Now, close to 100,000 people had registered as voters by the close of business yesterday. This is according to IEBC Chief Executive Officer Ezra Chiloba, who also confirmed that 68 BVR kits failed on the first day of the ongoing mass voter registration exercise. He was updating the media on the progress of the exercise.
Registration. The mass voter registration, which we said is the last registration campaign we're going to hold before the next election. We have witnessed a sense of enthusiasm among Kenyans who want to register as voters, and this is a commendable attitude, and we wish to thank every Kenyan who is looking forward to have a successful registration campaign. And as we have said before, building a better democracy requires the effort of all of us as Kenyans. Now, from an operational point of view, on the first day, we got a lot of media reporting in terms of BVR kit functionalities. We want to just also put on record that we deployed 7,793 kits across the country, excluding Huduma centers. And from the data we've received so far, only 68 kits reported cases of malfunction. And that is less than 1% of all the kits that we deployed across the country. So in other words, we're saying more than 99% of kits performed well on the first day. And the challenges that were actually experienced with respect to the 1% of the kits were also expected, given that these BVR kits were actually purchased 5 years ago. And with the time, most of these challenges are likely to be faced. So what we also want to assure the country is that the Commission has reserved a number of kits to work as backups. Whenever there is total failure of the kit performing in a specific place, we'll be able to deploy another kit. In addition, as we had said before, this time around we recruited 2 ICT support assistants to provide this support whenever there are challenges with the kits. And some of the things, of course, we're likely going to face, given the age of the BVR kits that we have, the issues around power management. And with power management, we have the internal batteries as well as the external batteries. So in the event that, of course, the external batteries are working as backups, and in some cases, we're relying much more on those batteries. So what the Commission is trying to ensure is to have, as much as possible, all the kits on full power supply in the course of the day, during the registration period. We're also acquiring additional batteries for some of the kits that we think, especially for far-flung areas, northeastern and eastern region, as well as North Rift in Turkana, because you need a constant supply of power in those particular areas. Again, we want to underscore the point that during this exercise, we are seeking to register persons who never registered as voters between 2012 and 2016, as well as people who have recently acquired national identification cards and are of voting age. Requirements for registration: again, you must be 18 years of age. You must have an original national identification card or a valid Kenyan passport, and you must present yourself physically at the registration center because we want to take your biometric features, and in this case, the fingerprints. And there was a question around the use of waiting cards. You should also be reminded that the use of waiting cards for purposes of registration is no longer valid. We do not use waiting cards in the registration of voters. It was there prior to the 2013 general elections, but following the amendments that were effected last year, this provision was actually removed. That was section 5 of the Elections Act. It removes that particular provision that requires people with waiting cards to register as voters. And the logic is very simple. There's no identification number on the waiting card. And yet you are telling the same person that when you show up at the polling station, you must show up with the identification document that you use to register. And this, you show up with the identification document that you use to register. So if you show up with a waiting card, there'll be some disconnect.
All right, let's now speak to our senior parliamentary reporter, Patrick Amimo, for more details on that particular briefing. Good afternoon, Patrick. It seems the IEBC CEO is confident that this exercise will bear fruit and they might possibly hit their target.
Thank you, Akisa. Indeed, what the Commission is doing, this is the third day of the massive voter registration, which kicked off on Monday. And we've seen from the initial reports by the Commission, it's indicating that many youth are turning up to register as voters, which is a very encouraging sign from the Commission. Because remember, from the initial figures, we have about 9.1 million Kenyans who have identity cards but are yet to register as voters. So the Commission targets, at least in this phase, to register between 4 to 6 million people. But the first indication is the CEO is very confident. Things are working well for the Commission, and especially on the side of the youth, who are the majority of the unregistered voters, the 9 million bracket. And he feels that the turnout so far from what he's witnessed, he says that the signs are encouraging. And we've also seen politicians come out to drum up support, to rally their supporters to come out and register in large numbers across the country. So whatever is, we've seen that the CEO also says that in order to capture as many people as possible into the database of voter register, they've also facilitated Huduma centers to be as part of those registration centers. People can also go to Huduma centers to be registered, though they are not polling stations, but they're just meant to ensure as many Kenyans as possible register as voters. The other aspect that they've involved, they've turned around, is to ensure that at the constituency level, returning officers are being allowed to register their kids at constituency level, so that whenever you see the kids somewhere, you can just go and register. As long as it's within the constituency, they'll know which polling center to place you. So those are some of the measures that the Commission is putting in place to ensure that as many voters as possible are brought on board. They've also sent ICT, at least ICT technicians across each county. At least we have 2 ICT officers to ensure that whenever there is a technological breakdown or any hitches in case of machines hanging or anything, then these technicians, ICT technicians, will be on hand to ensure that they rectify the machines and voters, Kenyans register without any hitches. Because on Tuesday, we saw people, at least several centers in parts of Nyanza, people complained that the machines could not be registered on time because some either had not been charged, the batteries had not been charged, and this indicts maybe those clerks why they could not charge their batteries when they knew that they were engaging in such a noble duty that has only been given 30 months. And the CEO says that this extension, the 1-month registration period will end on February 14th, and he says that maybe there will be no extension, because after that, then they will look at the possibility of also registering Kenyans in diaspora to participate in the elections. But that will depend on the word from the new commissioners who will be appointed by President Uhuru anytime soon, after we saw Parliament yesterday endorse the seven nominees who have been appointed to be the fresh IEBC commissioners. Akisa?
All right, thank you very much for that, Patrick. Patrick Amimo is a senior reporter joining us from our City Center studios. And even as we talk about the mass voter registration exercise, former TNA Secretary General Onyango Olo has announced his defection from President Uhuru Kenyatta's camp and joined the Orange Democratic Movement. He led a host of other Jubilee Party members in crossing over to the opposition. Olo, who was left out in the lineup of the new Jubilee Party launched by President Uhuru Kenyatta, says the party does not have a national face. Officials who defected with him from the Jubilee Party include those from Migori, Kisumu and Baringo.
My conscience does not allow me to continue in that environment. I have 28 counties behind me who are ready to join me. Unfortunately, as you know the nature of politics, they have asked me to try the waters first. Then they are joining me one by one in the coming weeks until we dismember that behemoth that now threatens the prosperity of this great nation. I can assure you, these 8 counties that have joined me today are testing waters. And today we are going to approach CORD and ask them, the way the delegates have said, the officials of the various parties, my answer is I take the responsibilities as I did take to lead you into the new dispensation. Every action has got consequences, and we are willing to pay for the consequences. In the wild, there are animals that hunt, and there are animals that eat what others have hunted. We hunted together, we killed the animal, but when it was brought, the hyenas, which were never there when we were hunting, have come and taken it all from us. We are going to hunt again. We still have the skills. We still have the tools. We still know where the forest is. And under the leadership of the new dispensation that we are going to seek to join today, and which is the CORD leadership through ODM, I assure you, we are going to bring back that animal. We are coming home.
Meanwhile, the former TNA top official was ceremoniously received to the ODM fold by ODM leader Raila Odinga. Olo ditched the Jubilee together with a number of former TNA officials from several counties in Nyanza. The leaders have said they have what it takes to enable ODM ascent to power in this year's general election. The leaders are set to accompany ODM leader Raila Odinga in inspecting the ongoing voters registration exercise in Siaya, among other areas in the county. Meanwhile, the University Academic Staff Union WASU Moi University chapter has announced plans to back a nationwide strike slated for tomorrow. More than 900 Moi University dons have vowed to take the industrial action to compel the government to offer them decent packages per the 2013 to 2017 collective bargaining agreement. Moi University chapter secretary Professor Jack Willis Abok accused the government of taking the dons in circles.
It is not a chest-thumping exercise. The dons, by their very nature, are perfectly sober people. It's a constituency of very restrained individuals. And they have been patient long enough. But now we have reached a stage where we are saying enough is enough. In other words, here at Moi University, we want to emphasize that the die is cast. We're not going back.
All right, and still on the same, even as university staff prepare to head into a strike tomorrow. Currently, University of Nairobi staff is addressing the media on the same, and they're about to announce the commencement of their strike. Let's cross over there live and listen in.
We have to sing solidarity songs because the saying goes, together we stand, divided we fall. And tomorrow we must stand, and therefore we charge. Charging for solidarity. Charging for solidarity. Charging for solidarity. It is a very powerful community to guide yourself as they procure funds from nation. Hey, uko nyuma sioni charging. Hawezi charging kama umekaa. Charging. This is just a rehearsal for tomorrow. Charging, 1, charging, 2, charging, 3,
right, that is a staff from the University of Nairobi preparing its members for a major strike or a down of tools tomorrow. And they earlier on in the week, or 7 days ago, they'd given the government a 7-day ultimatum to honor the 2013 to 2017 collective bargaining agreement, or they will go on strike. Already, the staff from Moi University have confirmed that they will be downing their tools to come tomorrow, as well as those from the Jomo Kenyatta University have also confirmed. So these are just developments that we are bringing you on that particular situation that is expected to be witnessed tomorrow. University staff under their unions, UASU and KUSU, are expected to down their tools in a bid to pile pressure on the government to honor the 2013 to 2017 collective bargaining agreement and pay them their dues. Let's cross over there, back there, and listen in.
And the reason why we have gathered here, we have the Kenya Universities Staff Union, KUSU. We have the Universities Academic Staff Union, UASU. And we have Kenya Union of Domestic Hotel.
All right, apologies. We are having difficulty with that particular event, but definitely we will be bringing you more information. But at this point, let's take a short break. Don't go too far. We still have a lot lined up for you here on KTN News Desk. Welcome back. You are watching KTN News Desk. Many thanks for staying with us. And still staying with that story on the anticipation of university staff strike, the sentiments are similar at the Jomo Kenyatta University College of Agriculture and Technology in Juja. University's Academic Staff Union UASU National Secretary General Constantine Wasonga and the Vice Chairman Joseph Mberia, and Kenya University Staff Union KUSU National Treasurer James Makori said nothing short of implementation of the collective bargaining agreement will avert the industrial action. They were speaking at Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology.
Alhamisi tarehe 19 saa 3 kama rais atakuwa ameamrisha waziri wake wa elimu aambie machairman ama mawajiri wa wanafunzi kwa ma universities tutaondoka kwa ufanyikazi, tutaweka mikakati yoyote ile na tunawapatia Iran kukimbia kotini hakutazaidia, hatutatii kamo onda zozote za kutoka kotini. Tunataka kuambia hata mkuu wa sheria akanushe majaji wake zana wa koti ya wafanyakazi kutukanana.
All right, let's now take a short commercial break. Don't go too far. Of course, we continue with the bulletin on KTN News, but for our KTN home viewers, we wrap it up on that note. Our sign language interpreter has been Lensa Owino. I am Akisa Wandera. Thank you very much for joining us. Let's meet in a bit on KTN News.